Hello, you're watching The View from Vauxhall Road, where it's finished here in the National League South. 𝗪𝗪𝗄𝗃 Town 1, St Albans City 3. It was a disappointing start to the game for the Tudors, conceding early on, but we did try and bounce back in the second half with Elliot Romain getting on the score sheet to provide the equaliser. But a Zane Banton double midway through the second half secured all 3 points for City. Now, I'm sure that this is not great watching for Tudor fans, but let's take a look at those goals and the highlights from today's game. So as I said, they're not a great watch if you're a Tudors fan, but those were the goals and the highlights from today's game. There was a bumper crowd down here this afternoon, so thank you very much for your support on a day where the Tudors did the No Home Kit campaign, wearing the away strip in aid of shelter. And as I said yesterday, we managed to raise £190 as part of our match day package auction. So thank you very much for everyone's support with that campaign. Now, I'm sure a man who's bitterly disappointed after today's game is manager Mark Jones. And I caught up with him a short while ago, and here's what he had to say. Mark, from probably about minute 5 to minute 60, we didn't do too much wrong. But how do you assess that game? Because obviously 3-1 defeat to rivals is not easy to take.
No, obviously the feeling is disappointment. You know, I apologise that we haven't won the game for the supporters today. Obviously, we get off to a really poor start, as you mentioned. Listen, I'm not going to come on and sort of criticise the players in camera. You know, rest assured there'd been one or two things said in the dressing room, but I prefer to sort of keep it that way rather than come on and hammer all of the players, because it's a collective responsibility, and ultimately the responsibility comes on me because I'm the manager, and you know, I understand that's football. I thought after they scored their first goal, our reaction was pretty good, and there were some positives in our play. Obviously, 𝗍𝗿𝗲𝗀 has hit the crossbar there after about 15 minutes, and we've had a couple of other little opportunities, and it was a fairly tight game. I'd have to look at the goal back. The first goal, I think it's too easy that they come off of us, get a turn, get a slipped pass in. You know, we obviously gave instructions to the players of how we were going to press, but the first 2 or 3 occasions we didn't do that. But then when we did get it right, which is what we told them to do, the press worked pretty well and they couldn't really get out against us. I think we deservedly sort of came back into the game and got the equaliser. But then, you know, we had then a 3 or 4 minute spell after our goal where we got into a couple of good little positions. But when the second goal for them goes in against us, it's obviously a momentum changer again and a killer, you know, because then the players are thinking, well, you know, we've got to now try and go again. And the momentum is a big thing, and goals do change games. You know, there wasn't a lot in it until that point, but you know, after they scored the second goal, I think we struggled to then go again after coming from behind once already to equalise. I've got to have a look at things, you know. It's I'm not one to sort of hide myself. We've played 23 games now, and you know, the results haven't been consistently good enough. I think we have got some talented individual players, but our sort of teamship perhaps isn't what I would like it to be in terms of our character at times when things start to go against us. You look at the second goal today. I mean, it's a poor goal kick for a start. We then don't get a challenge. The lad comes and heads it, you know, clean header with no challenge. That's a problem. We then don't deal with the ball very well as it bounces, and it's a decent sort of finish. Shane Banton's cut in on his right foot and connected with it well. I'd have to look at the third goal back again. That looks a little bit soft to me, the way that went in. But look, ultimately, I always say the results aren't good enough. I've got a lot of hard work to do. We have got a chance to try to put one or two things right against them on New Year's Day. Look, congratulations to St Albans. They got the victory. You know, and we have to keep going with it. But as you said at the start, if you look at the sort of general play for the majority of the game, it was two pretty evenly matched teams, but the key moments have gone for them, and it's always key moments in the game that are important. And they've got it right with their finishes, and we haven't got our detail right with a couple of mistakes.
I think you've dissected the majority of that game there quite finely, and I've got no further questions about the game in particular, but it was a bumper crowd here today, and you can understand that the fans have gone home frustrated.
Of course, they want their team to win. A local derby, you know, it's not nice. You know, they're obviously celebrating and that, their supporters, and obviously we're feeling down and our supporters are feeling down, and they understand that, you know, and there's no hiding place in football. People, you know, well within their rights to sort of voice their frustrations. We're obviously not sort of doing cartwheels in the dressing room. You know, we're gutted as well. It is frustrating, and because I always try to give a reasonably accurate assessment, and for large parts of the game, we're doing some good things. I don't think like we are sort of miles away from sort of trying to execute what we want, but I think at times the character in the group needs to be better. You know, you look at the leadership out there. I would sort of pull out Jack Westbrook today. I thought he was absolutely outstanding, you know, and he's a lad that just comes in and gets on with his job, doesn't say an awful lot, and usually gives you a 7, 8 out of 10 out of performance every week. Unfortunately, we have got some others there that have got a lot to say for themselves, but perhaps don't then deliver on the pitch consistently enough. And, you know, that's where we are with it. But as I say, I understand the game. You know, I am the manager, so ultimately the buck stops with me, and people will go away and criticise, and they're perfectly within their rights to do that. All that we can do now as a group is analyse the game and prepare for New Year's Day. It was their day today. We went to their place over Christmas last year and won 3-1. The reverse has happened for them today. So as I said, you know, David's doing a very, very good job there. And they are on a good run of form. You know, they're established in the playoffs now. So it's not as if, you know, we've lost to a really poor side. They've got some talented players, try to play football. To be fair, I didn't think they tried to play as much football out from the back second half, because I think they were perhaps worried about our press, and they went a little bit more direct down the slope. But there was nothing in the game until they scored the second goal. And then I think, you know, our players then struggle to come back from that disappointment of the second one going in. But look, you ain't going to win games of football conceding 3 goals at home. I mean, we conceded 3 goals against Maidenhead, and we conceded 3 goals today, so that's 6 goals gone in against us in 2 home games. You're not going to win games of football. So work to do. Apologise to the supporters that we couldn't give them a good Christmas present. We knew how St Albans were going to play. I thought we sort of got that set up right against them, and for large parts it was working, but you obviously goals change games, and the moments have gone for them.
So those are the thoughts of manager Mark Jones, and as he said, goals certainly do change games. And joining me in the studio is defender Jack Westbrook. Jack, that must be a disappointing defeat for the players. They're certainly on Derby Day.
Yeah, of course, we know how much the game means to the fans and the players alike. And to put a performance in like that is really disappointing. The only good thing we've got is that we're playing them again next week. We've got a chance to kind of put today behind us and focus on that. But yeah, very disappointing today. Is
that a good thing for you as players, being able to have another game, and certainly against those? So it's almost like there's that desire to get a little bit more, a bit of revenge there, I suppose. Yeah, definitely. I think it's coming round within a week. Obviously, we're going to their place like they've done today. They've come here and won. That's definitely what we'll be looking to do. We'll be training this week, and like I said, trying to make the wrongs of today right next week. Was it a disappointing start? Well, obviously it was a disappointing start for you as players, but to concede a goal so early on in the game when you've got a game plan, you're on the back foot straight off.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of, as the away team, it gives them something to hold on to. We weren't good enough in that first 10, 15 minutes, and fair play to them. They went ahead and scored, and like I said, it gives them something to hang on to. I thought we came into the game better after that, but that start killed us really.
Do you feel that perhaps we edged the early parts of the second half, because we did seem to come out on the front foot and we had quite a few good chances? So he got the equaliser. Did you feel the momentum sort of turning there and perhaps could have got something out of the game?
Yeah, definitely. Like we said just before coming on here, goals change games, and like in the first half they scored and they had a spell, and then we obviously got the goal back, and we were on top for a period of the game. We kind of got to capitalise when we were on top. Disappointingly, they went ahead again, and kind of a goal in quick succession again. Don't know how long was between the two goals, but we've got to really try and hold on in there in games when we do concede. Try not to concede again straight away, because in the past two games we've done that, and that's kind of, it really gives the other team an advantage.
Is our Achilles heel this season been the fact that perhaps we haven't been able to get consistency on the pitch, but also consistency in terms of who's in the team? So you yourself have been out for a period of time, and that just disrupts momentum, doesn't it, going forward?
Yeah. I think today was probably, we had pretty much everyone signed available, just a few missing today. But like you said, I've been out, Carl's been out, Corey's been out, so it's kind of us three. It may even be the first time we've played as a back three together this season, but the 11 that are out there and the subs that come on, it's no real excuse. We all know each other. We all train together every week. It's difficult when you don't have a consistent side, but saying that, all the lads are capable, and we should be putting better performances together.
And the National League South is a very unpredictable league. There's still lots of games to play, many points to play for, and there's still plenty of opportunity there to kind of put some of the wrongs right. Yeah,
I think today might be halfway through the season, so it just shows how far we've got left really, and it's, like you said, loads of points up for grabs, but we need to get out of the rut that we're in, being honest. We need to get some results, because it's not been good enough in recent weeks, and like I said, lots of points to play for still, but we need to kind of get some momentum on our side and win some games.
Well, thanks very much for your time, and that's all we got time for this edition of The View from Vauxhall Road. We'll be down at Clarence Park on New Year's Day for the return leg of this fixture, so join us then. But for now, goodbye.